Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a trying new makeup. If you follow me on the community tab or Instagram, I have not posted in like a week and a half, 2 weeks, which is not like me. I am kind of in a low point in my mental health, and I get this every year. It's like the seasonal depression like really kicks in, and I just really honestly haven't worn makeup for days, which is not like me. So I'm excited to get back in it. I have a bunch of new products that I want to try. Today we're going to be doing a lot of Scott Barnes. I want to tell you everything that we're trying. I have this Good Molecules silicone-free priming moisturizer. This is a really affordable skincare brand, and this is their newest product. So I want to try that just to moisturize or prime the skin. I don't have a new foundation, but I have this new Tarte Shape Tape Glow Wand. So this is essentially what you're supposed to put on top of their Shape Tape. It's supposed to brighten, and it kind of has a little bit of a luminosity. I'm interested to try this because you know we have pores, so we'll see about that. For the eyes, I want to use the ColourPop Good as Gold palette. For some reason, this really spoke to me. It has a bunch of different textures in there, and it's just like this really metallic gold palette, so I thought we could do a neutral look with that. And then onto the Scott Barnes. I have the contour palette. I bought this all myself, so I've swatched these a little bit. This is what it looks like. So we're going to use this to kind of contour and bronze the face. I have the blush palette. This is what it looks like. Beautiful. It has 6 blushes and then 2 kind of like highlights. And then I wasn't going to get this, but I'm a weak person, so I went ahead and got the illuminating palette. This looks stunning. Oh my god, so pretty. So I just want to swatch these, play around, apply them to the face. I also have some Nabla Cosmetics holiday collection. I thought we could do like a bright lip possibly because I've been doing nude lips. So we're just going to play with some new makeup. I'm sorry that I've been MIA. I'm going to do my best to just take care of myself and hopefully not have to take a break again because I don't like doing that. Like I haven't felt good. So thank you for bearing with me. If you're new here, I would love for you to subscribe. I do a ton of trying new makeup videos, hauls, reviews, you know, recommendations, and a lot of new makeup. So I would love if you would stick around, and let's go ahead and get into this. Okay, I zoomed you in. I'm going to start off with the Good Molecules silicone-free priming moisturizer. It says it has shea butter, macadamia seed oil, and a plant-derived silicone alternative to hydrate, smooth, and nourish the skin. One thing I really love about this is I believe this is fragrance-free. A lot of Good Molecule products are fragrance-free, and I appreciate that because recently I have had such reactions to heavily fragranced, specifically skincare. So it has a pump. I think this is $14, which is a little bit pricey for the brand because I think a lot of their products are like 10, 11, so 14 seems a little high, but this is what it looks like. It just looks like a typical cream. You do get 1.7 ounces, so maybe that's why. That's kind of a lot. Typically, like moisturizers, you might get an ounce. So it says it's a moisturizer and a primer. So we're gonna go ahead and just smooth it onto the skin. It has 0 scent, and I really appreciate that. It feels really nice. It is interesting because it does feel like a moisturizer, but I do feel a little bit of that slip, meaning that it almost has a little bit of the Tatcha dewy skin cream feel, which is probably like that silicone, what did they say it was? Plant-derived silicone alternative. So it gives you that slip, that smooth feel. I'm gonna go ahead and take another pump just for my forehead because, whew, I'm struggling. I just feel like I get so patchy and dry, like specifically on my forehead. And my hair is just really already starting to try me. So in terms of how it feels, it really soaks into the skin. It feels like a moisturizer. It's not sticky or tacky, anything like that. So I feel like I would use this more so as a moisturizer. Kind of how I use my Juno & Co. Miracle Cream. You can see I've really kind of gone in there. I use it more as a moisturizer. Now you can use it as both, like a primer and moisturizer. But for me, I like to do a targeted pore primer. So this would be like more of a moisturizer for me, but I appreciate that there's no fragrance in it at all. So I have this new product from Tarte. This is the Shape Tape Glow Wand, which is brand new. So I have the shade Light, and it looks like a concealer, but it has a kind of glow to it. And they say you can use it under there. I think you can see. You can use it under your foundation. You can use it at the high points of your face, or you can use it over your Shape Tape, which is what I'm gonna do. It also has this little like sponge on here, which I don't see anybody using. Like, I just don't. So I'm kind of like, what is that about? Like, I'm not gonna use that. So I'm gonna go ahead with my Shape Tape. I have Light Sand. and I'm gonna apply it as I normally would. So my understanding about this new product is it's not a coverage product, it's like a brighten and illuminate. So I have my concealer on, and as I said, I'm gonna use this over it because that's kind of the way that I saw them demo it. I think this was an exclusive on QVC first, and then they're gonna push it, I'm assuming, to their website, or it might only be QVC. I'll have to link it down below. So it has a nice flat wand applicator. I'm looking for if it's going to disrupt. This is how they applied it when I watched the demo. If it's gonna disrupt the coverage or if it's gonna enhance my pores. Those are like my two concerns. So I guess we're just gonna go ahead and go for it. They said it was basically supposed to just like brighten and give you a lifted look. Okay, I definitely see a highlight. I don't necessarily think it's enhancing my texture. It looks hydrated. Huh. It doesn't appear to be enhancing my texture, which is nice. I definitely feel like it made me look more dewy, but my question is, once I set, is it all gonna go away? So my first impression is better than I thought. It does not accentuate texture, and it does not disrupt the coverage. As far as I can tell, it gives you a dewy look. If you have dry under eyes, you might really enjoy this. Again, we're just trying it, but I'm wondering how it's gonna act when I set it now. So I'm gonna use my Charlotte Tilbury #1 powder to set my T-zone and see if it kind of just takes everything away, and then it's kind of like, what's the point? Although, like I said, I saw that they said you could put this under foundation at the high points or over foundation, or just to give you a glow. So it sounds like it's like a multi-use just glow wand, but I do appreciate that it doesn't look glittery or chunky or anything like that. It truly does look really just luminous. So I'm setting like I normally would. I don't know if I still see any of the luminosity, but it didn't act funky, so that's good. Seems like the formula is quite thin and it's gonna be easy to work with, so that is a good thing. I just feel like it's gonna be a targeted product depending on like if you have really dry under eyes or you like a really luminous look. If you're somebody that doesn't set your concealer, you might really enjoy it too because it gives you that dewy look. So this is what it's looking like. I actually think it looks nice. I don't know, again, since I set it, if I see that luminosity. I don't know, maybe a little bit. It's just kind of hard to tell, but I don't dislike it. Anytime I hear about a product that has like you know, illumination in it, highlight, glitter, anything like that, I tend to just be like, no in the T-zone. So the fact that I could use that, and it did really give me that dewy look. So we'll have to see, but I'm pleasantly surprised with that. So I'm gonna go in with my Charlotte Tilbury #2 powder, which is just a little bit deeper to set the rest of my face. I really think you could probably use that powder in your T-zone too. Almost like a MAC, I don't know if you guys remember the MAC Prep and Prime pens. Where they just didn't really have much coverage, but I don't know if you remember like the viral photo of Kim Kardashian years ago, and she had like the yellow kind of like all over her face to highlight. I almost wonder if it's something like that. Like that product could be used in a lot of different ways. So I went ahead and did my brows off camera, and I want to go in and start on the eyes. I have this ColourPop Good as Gold palette. So I just thought this was so beautiful. The textures in here, there's a lot of different stuff. So I thought we could swatch a little bit and then do like a holiday look. So here you can see some of the textures. There's like a Super Shock formula and then a really intense metallic. And then we have some like more chunkier. They're not glitters, but they do have a little bit of chunk to them, but they're super high shine. So to start this look off, I'm gonna go into Trooper, which is like this mustard yellow. So I'm gonna go ahead and just use this just as a transition. I almost feel like since I haven't done makeup in like a week that I forget how to do it, which is so weird, but I really haven't done makeup in a while, and I haven't filmed, and I also really, even when I've done makeup, I haven't done like eyeshadow. So I'm like, okay, do I remember how to actually do my eyeshadow? We will find out today. So this is a nice, just light yellow matte. I'm just kind of using this to lay down so that everything blends. I'm using an M535 from Morphe. So next I'm gonna go into this deep shade called Diggin' You, and I'm just gonna use this to really kind of deepen up a little bit, just on the outer edge. So I'm kind of gonna lay it down and then just use my first brush to blend. So I'm actually switching brushes to an E27 from Sigma. So I wanna like kind of place this lower, and then take my original fluffy brush and just kind of blend. So oddly enough, I see some patchiness right here. It's like it doesn't want to blend. I'm not sure if that's me or I'm not sure. So, cause I mean, I never really struggle with ColourPop formula. I'm actually gonna go into this shade down here called Big Brooch. I just wanna see if I can kind of fix this down here. Maybe it was just that one shade in the palette. I'm not sure. Yeah, I feel like I have grabbing over here too. I'm kind of shocked by that. I don't usually have that issue. So we're just gonna have to roll with it, and you know, it could just be because I haven't done my makeup, like I said, in a bit. So maybe I'm just rusty, but I feel like I have some grabbing, and it's really just that second shade that I used. And I don't know if I can really like fix it perfectly. So we're just gonna kind of keep moving. I think I wanna go in for the lid. I kind of think I wanna go into this shade down here called Golden Touch. Trying to decide. Yeah, I wanna go in with this one, Golden Touch. It feels like rough almost, like it's not a glitter, but it feels like it has glitter to it. Like there's glitter in there. So I'm just gonna go ahead. Okay, it is a glitter. Huh, that's interesting because when you swatch it, I mean, there's glitter in there, but it almost looks like a metallic. I'm actually gonna mix it with the shade up here, which is a metallic called Bold Rush, so that I have more of like a metallic instead of actual glitter. I'm not against glitter, but that wasn't what I was going for. I mean, it's definitely pretty. It is a glitter. So that's interesting because it's like a weird glitter. It's not like their typical chunky glitters. It's like a really finely milled glitter. So now that I have that, I'm gonna go back into that Big Brooch shade, and I'm gonna go ahead and try to just add a little bit of depth out here. So I wanna do some like smoked out liner. I absolutely struggle with this and I hate it because it's so beautiful, but I'm gonna go in with this black and I'm gonna try to do kind of like a little smoky liner. I'm not good at this, and I think that's why I always kind of go to a wing. So I feel like I'm just gonna have to be really quiet and try to do this. So I went ahead and applied my lashes off camera. They're from Lashaholics. I'll link them down below. And I want to finish off this eye look. I think I'm just going to go into that, I don't know, that shade was patchy, but I think I want to go into the Big Brooch maybe, which is this shade right here. And I just want to apply a little bit on the outer part of my lower lash line. And I'm also gonna take 24K. This is like the Super Shock in here. It's really pretty. And I just wanna use this on the inner corner. So I definitely have some glitter fallout, so just be mindful of that. So now I wanna move on to the face, and I'm gonna start off with the contour palette from Scott Barnes. So this is what it looks like. I have to say it's a lot heavier and just nicer in person. So here's a close-up of the shades. You do get 8 shades, and it does have a mirror inside. So to contour today, I'm gonna use my 72 brush Sephora collection, and I think I'm gonna go into Diced. I'm a little nervous because these appear to be insanely pigmented. So I'm dipping my brush in, and then I'm literally like really knocking it off. And I'm gonna just start contouring. So you can definitely see it's contoured. This shade is cool toned, but there's like a variation. There's like red, toned, warm, cool. So I'm just using a brush with no product on it to blend it out. So it definitely did contour. It's a little bit intense, like it's really pigmented, so just be careful. To actually kind of bronze up, I think I'm gonna take Sliced and Chiseled and just kind of dip in. Chiseled is like a really warm kind of deep brown, and Sliced is a really, really warm, but it's lighter. So I'm just gonna kind of mix and just use this to basically bronze up the skin. Yeah, so you see how pigmented that is? That's woo, my fault. You just kind of really need to be light-handed with this. So next I want to go into the blush palette. So here's the outer packaging. I really like how this is pink and the other one is brown and then the other one's silver, so you can tell which one is which. So you do get a mirror again, and look at these beautiful shades in here. So I saw Scott Barnes kind of mixing them, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna mix Rose with Minimalist. I love a bright blush. These look really pigmented, so I'm gonna mix them together and then tap off my brush. But I'm all about, you know, the blush life, so. Yeah, that's beautiful. I actually like a pretty intense blush. Oh, that's pretty. So there's two, like, they're called glowy and showy. Basically highlighters or blush toppers. Kind of want to go in with this one a little bit. This kind of peachy orange shade. So I'm going to take the blush brush very lightly. It just adds a little bit of like a kind of sunset vibe. I'm kind of pulling it up. That's beautiful. Woo, that is pretty. So now I'm excited to get into the highlighter palette. This is the Illuminator palette. It has that silver packaging. So you do get 8 shades in here, and they are so pretty. They're neutral, but they have different kind of undertones. So I think I want to go into Sugar Rush to kind of keep with that kind of sunset. We have the really gold eyes, and then we have kind of those peachy cheeks. So I want to go in with Sugar Rush. And I'm going to just kind of sweep this. And then I really just want to test it. I'm going to go into Pinkaboo, which is like a light baby pink. And I'm just gonna do a tiny bit, like right at the top. Do a little bit on the chin. For the nose, I think I wanna go in with Peach Crush mixed with Twilight Sand. So I'm applying it, and then I'm just kind of blending it with my finger. And then I'm gonna go ahead and wipe away this powder. While we're here, I'm trying to think, I might take a little bit of this Twilight Sand and just put it on top of that inner corner just to make it even more intense. For lips, I think I'm gonna go in with this Noble Cosmetics Mood for Love. I was gonna go with a hot red, but I feel like this one looks like it has a little bit of like an orange kind of burnt feel to it, and I feel like maybe with the sunset cheeks and the gold eyes it'll work. This smells really good. There's like a tingle to this, I feel. Huh. I want to say it smells like cherries. I feel like putting on liquid lipstick is such a struggle, which is why I think I always like go for a nude, because you don't have to be precise. All right, guys, here's my finished makeup look. It's not my best work, but for, you know, my first video back, I'm gonna let it slide. I feel like my cheeks are really pink and my lips, like the red and the pink, is a little bit much, but I feel like I've been doing nude lips so much I wanted to change it up. So I'm gonna go over the products, starting off with the Good Molecules Priming Moisturizer. I think this is a great option if you have sensitive skin. If you're sensitive to fragrance, you're looking for something that's gonna give you a nice moisturized base, I think this is a good option. Great pricing. You get 1.7 ounces. This is not going to give you a luminosity. It's not going to smooth your skin, in my opinion. It says it's a priming moisturizer to smooth the skin. When I say it's not going to smooth, I mean overall it's going to give you that smooth moisturized base, but it's not going to do the targeted filling in of the pores. So if you feel like you need to do that on top of this, I think that's kind of the best bet. I feel like this is going to be a product I'm going to reach for in the winter months when my skin is dry, irritated, chapped, red, and any kind of fragrance can really sting my skin. So I think this is great that they don't have a fragrance in it, and I think for the price, I mean, you're getting a lot of products. So if you're looking for like a baseline moisturizer that's going to be like a safe bet if you're really sensitive, you might want to check this one out. So in terms of this new Tarte Shape Tape Glow Wand, I'm on the fence. I'm gonna have to try it some more. I have to say, originally I was like, there's no way I can put something dewy or, you know, hydrating, not hydrating, luminous, glow, anything like that in the T-zone is like, hello pores, hello texture. This did not accentuate it, in my opinion. You guys can tell me down below. Obviously, I can only see myself in the viewfinder. I'm gonna have to watch my footage. But looking at it in real life, this really did give me that hydrated look. This gave me the look that the Glossier concealer gives me in terms of hydration, but the Glossier concealer doesn't give you any coverage. So I like that you can put this over your concealer and it actually works. I think that it is marketed correctly in that sense where they say there's no glitter. I don't see any glitter, but there is a luminosity. Again, when I kind of turned my head, I was like, wow, my under eyes looked super hydrated. I also want to try this like on the tops of the cheekbones or under foundation, as they said, just really kind of play around with it. I do think this part is unnecessary. Like I truly don't know what this is. And I will never use this, and I'm just going to be 100%. I think it's going to be kind of like a multi-use product, and I feel like it does have a market for people that are really dry, and no matter what they do, they just can't get that hydrated look. This really gave it. So of course I'm gonna have to see how it wears, but it didn't disrupt anything, and that's what I was looking for, if it was gonna accentuate texture or disrupt my concealer, and it didn't do either. So first impression is good. We'll keep playing with it and I'll update soon. So in terms of the eyeshadow palette, I'm a little disappointed. I truly never really like struggle with ColourPop, especially their mattes. And I struggled for some reason today with the shade Diggin' You. I'm sure you guys saw the patchiness. Even this shade, Big Brooch, it kind of helped out, but I don't know if the damage was done with this. Now, if you love gold, this is like the Urban Decay Naked Honey palette, but better in my opinion in terms of all the different colors you get, but I'm a little bit thrown off by that shade. And like I said, I don't really remember a time I've struggled with ColourPop mattes being patchy, but that shade in particular just did not want to blend. So again, I don't know if it's just because I'm a little rusty, but I did struggle a little bit with that. So it kind of bummed me out because I thought this would be like a beautiful New Year's Eve, just holiday palette in general. If you've tried this palette, let me know down below. Did you have that issue? Maybe it was just me today, and you know, it could be that I didn't set my base right or whatever it was, but the shimmers in here are really beautiful. I really love this shade right here, and I really love this mustard shade. That one blended beautifully. Something about this shade just really threw me off. So moving on to the Scott Barnes palette. So I'm gonna start out with my least favorite, which is the contour palette. So I don't think there's anything wrong with this palette. This is really for somebody like a makeup artist or somebody that really likes to contour, and I feel like you can get really over the top quickly. So for me, it's like a light touch. These are kind of like products that I'm like, ooh, I'm a little scared to dip into because if I don't pay attention, I can get really kind of muddy quickly, but that's because I'm not a professional makeup artist. So for me, this is like full glam if you're going, you know, to prom or you have a wedding or you're a makeup artist. But I would say for the everyday consumer, this could be a little bit just a little much, and you have to use like the lightest hand. So this is probably my least favorite of the three palettes. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that I have other like bronzers that are matte or contours that I can like literally fluff on and go. This one I feel like I have to be careful because I can really go overboard. So a palette that I do love is the blush palette. I feel like this palette is so universal. I didn't get to use this shade up here, which is like that orange shade, but it really can warm up. I've seen other people use it. I love these tones. I feel like you get 4 kind of neutral shades, which is what most people are gonna reach for. And then you can add this pink or this kind of orange shade to really beef it up, whether you wanna go warm or more of that pinky flushed look. I also think this is beautiful. I usually shy away from really shimmery like blushes, but I don't know if this is a blush. It's like a highlight, but I felt like it really brought that like kind of sunset warmth to it. And then this could be your highlight. I mean, literally this could be your highlight. So you kind of get a blush and highlight in one in here. Of course, there's more blushes, but these are pigmented, beautiful. I love that they're matte, and then you can add up the glow if you want to be glowy and hoey. So I really, really love this. I think it's beautiful. I'm a blush fiend, so I knew I was gonna love this the most. And the highlighter palette I think is absolutely beautiful. The formula is gorgeous. I feel like you have 3 kind of neutral golds. So you have more of the kind of deeper copper gold. Again, if you have deeper, well, it's not copper, bronze gold. If you have like a deeper skin tone, this is like your standard gold. This is the warm, think like Fenty Beauty Trophy Wife, but not as intense. Then you have this like coppery, beautiful kind of tone again. So you have like kind of 4 that you can use on medium deep skin tone, and then you have these really light kind of peachy, pinky, icy, champagne. So I feel like all the bases are covered here. While they all have a little bit of a color difference, they're all wearable. So I think it's beautiful. The formula really buffs into the skin. It's very thin. You can see there's not powder kick up in here, and when you really just kind of buff them in, they kind of just melt into your skin. So they're not a powdery formula, and I love that. I don't like really powdery. Am I orange? I feel like when you hold stuff up, your camera like changes the color of you, but I am impressed with this. I'm not surprised. I mean, from what I've seen. So I definitely think this is beautiful. There is a lot of pink in here, but I do enjoy a pink highlight. Like this one and this one are pink. So there's a nice mix of colors in here. I feel like it could be very universal and work for a lot of different skin tones. I think the packaging is beautiful. And I like how, again, you can see like this is the highlight palette. The pink one is the blush. The brown one is the contour. So I think it's easy to spot. You're not like looking through like, what is this? So I think the packaging is much nicer in person. I will say that. It feels nice and sturdy. You get a mirror. I think if you're a makeup artist, this would be perfect for your kit. So I really like this, and the blush palette is what stands out to me. And then lastly, the lip color. I have to say this smells delicious. I think they came out with 6 different shades. It smells really good, and I felt a tingle on there. Now I don't know if I was just imagining that. Not like a burning or hurting, and I don't feel it anymore, but there was like a minty kind of sensation, even though it smells like cherry to me. These are satin lipsticks. So they have their liquid lipsticks that I have that are matte, and that's what I was expecting. This is a satin. Very comfortable. If you don't like that dry feeling, but you want full pigment, I think you will really enjoy these. Now keep in mind they will smear and transfer, but I haven't had any issues, you know, of it on my teeth or anything, and I've had this on for about, you know, 45 minutes at this point. So I think you'd really like this if you don't like that dry down, crusty feel. These are really hydrating and they're really pigmented. So that is everything for this trying new makeup. I really wanted to focus on those palettes from Scott Barnes, and of course I'll keep using them and update you guys on what I'm thinking. If you pick them up, let me know down below. Are you loving them? What's standing out to you? What do you guys want to see next? I have the Jaclyn highlighters, and I also have the KKW Mario collection that I purchased, some Nabla Cosmetics, ColourPop, tons of new stuff. So let me know down below. Thank you guys for bearing with me. Even if I'm like a little bit off today, I'm just happy that I got to sit down and get back into makeup and back into the groove, even though this wasn't my favorite look. You know, that's how it goes. So thank you guys again. I love you. Please subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video.